Well, hello there and welcome back to my channel, or of course welcome to my channel if you're new. If you are new, then hello, lovely to meet you. My name is Alex, and if you are new here, make sure you stick around and subscribe. If you're not new and you've been here for a while, then why not make sure that notification bell is switched on just so you're notified of every single time that I upload. For today's video, I have such an exciting one, and I've started off today's video with no makeup on because I want to sort of go through the whole journey from start to finish. I don't want to do the intro with all my makeup on. I don't know, I just want to keep it all a bit of a surprise, even though you know what it looks like on the thumbnail. So we're going to be testing a new collection from xxRevolution. So they have extended their cloud range. I've actually got this to the side of me. This is the Cloud Complexion primer. I absolutely love this. Admittedly, don't use it as much as I should because I freaking love it. They've extended this cloud range. They've released a few face products. They've released a Cloud Burst priming serum. They've also released a cloud elixir, and they've also released two sort of cream products, a cloud blush and a cloud highlighter. And then the main exciting thing about this collection is that they've released a new eyeshadow palette. This is the XX Cloud Shadow Palette, and we're going to be testing all of these in today's video. So if you want to see what I think of these products, then please keep watching. We're firstly going to start off with the, oh my god, I dropped it. This is the Cloud Burst Priming Serum. How pretty is the packaging? I believe this was £10, but I got it for a little bit cheaper on Boots because I think they were doing an introductory offer. Look how bougie this looks with all the little beads inside. I'm so intrigued, and as I mentioned, they do an elixir, but I do have the one from the gold collection and I haven't even used it, so I didn't want to purchase one if I haven't even tried the other, if that makes sense. So that's why I just stuck to the priming serum. So it comes in this little plastic bottle. £10 is quite expensive. There's not a crap ton of product in here, it is quite small, but obviously it's down to the ingredients and the effects it has on your skin. So I think we should just shut up and try this. I don't really know how this works. Do the pearls just stay in there? I don't know. Oh, I think it squeezes the pearls because there's a little, if you notice that at the bottom, I think it pushes it up every time, which is cool. I'm going to do a couple of squirts because if you look at that liquid, it is, I'm not even going to say what I was about to say. It looks like it's taken extracts from the pearls. So let's put this on. Oh, it's very lightweight. Interesting. Okay, so that has fully dried down. I cannot feel any residue or anything. It's not tacky. It's literally fully dried down. My face does, I feel, look a little bit more glowy. So this primer for me, I feel gives you a very soft, radiant glow. But it dries down. I'm loving this only because I've got a combination skin type and I get oily throughout the day, so a product like this is actually really good for me because it dries down and it doesn't give that added oiliness. Do you know what I mean? It definitely does look a little bit dewy. It's very subtle and natural, I'd say. I reckon if you put more on, it probably would look a little bit more radiant, but I did put 2 pumps on and that did cover my whole face, and I could probably get on board with a product like this because it does dry down. Okay, so I'm liking the primer so far. It does feel really nice. I feel like my skin is prepped, and now we're going to move on to the other 2 products, but first I need to put some foundation on. So for foundation, I'm going to use the xxRevolution one. This actually isn't my favourite foundation, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to whack it out. I haven't used it in a little while. Okay, so I've got my foundation on now. I'm looking a bit ghostly, to be honest, but that will be quickly resolved. And now we can test the 2 face products. So firstly, we're going to go in with the blush. Now, with the blushes and highlighters, I think they had about 4 highlighter shades and maybe 5 blushes. And these are called the Cloud Blush Cream Blush and Lip Tint. Firstly, how cute is this packaging? I absolutely love it. I love how it all matches. And these come in these little glass jars that look like this, and it's got like a frosted glass effect to it. I absolutely love the packaging. These are £8, so again, expensive, but they are xxRevolution, but you do get it in like a nice fancy glass jar, so I'm really happy with the packaging. And I got mine in the shade Soft Focus, and this is what it looks like. So I think I'm just gonna grab the bottom of the sponge and dab this straight on. Okay, so this is the cream blush on, and this shade is so pretty. It is more of like a pinky peach sort of shade, and the consistency is quite like a moussey texture, so it looks like quite a lot when you first apply it, but as you blend it blends out beautifully. It's really nice and buildable, and it doesn't take off your foundation off underneath, so I really like that. And then we're going to move on to the Cloud Highlighter, which is described as a cream shimmer, and I have swatched this and it is shimmery. So I also love the packaging of this, very on theme with the collection. And by the way, all of these products are cruelty free and vegan. So the highlighters are in the exact same packaging, except the top lid is like not pink like the blushes. And I got mine in the shade Bubble. I think there's about 3, maybe 4 shades of highlighter. I just picked the lightest one, which is like an icy sort of shade. So because this is a cream shimmer, I want to have a little bit of control with it, so I am going to use my finger. It literally is, when you feel it, it is just essentially a cream in the pot. There's, you know, no other way to describe it. It is a very creamy consistency, but look how pigmented it is, and that is what the shade looks like. And that cream blush, by the way, has seemed to dry down, which is very interesting. Okay, so this is what the cream shimmer looks like, and as I said, it is a straight up shimmer. It is really pretty. It can apply quite clumpy, but if you like blend it out, it does then sheer the shimmer out, so there's no harsh clumps or anything, so it does just give you a really beautiful shimmer. I'm not gonna lie, shimmery highlighters are not really a bit of me, but if you are a shimmery highlighter person and you do like products like that, then you are going to like this, because it does exactly what it says on the tin. It is a cream shimmer, and it does look very beautiful when it pings off of the light. So I'm very happy with it. It is £8 as well, so you've got to keep that into consideration. But for something that is exactly what it says, I'm very impressed. It is a beautiful shimmer, and I think it's really pretty. I would definitely use this again, but probably not for like everyday wear, maybe for a festival or something, because it is really shimmery, but it is very pretty. Okay, so those are all of the face products tested. We have one product left, which is the eyeshadow palette, and I am going to go off camera quickly. I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup, and then we can finally get around to testing this palette. Okay guys, so I'm back, and I finished the rest of my makeup off, and I ended up using the xxRevolution concealer, the Fenty Beauty pressed powder, the Revolution Glow matte bronzer. I absolutely love this. I also used a couple more xxRevolution products. So I used the Echo highlighter. If you are a highlighter fanatic and you've not tried these before, you need to. I feel like it blended really well with the cream highlighter, because now it doesn't look shimmery really at all. It's kind of just like meshed it all together, and I love the finished result. So an actual normal powder highlighter on top of this cream shimmer makes it look absolutely beautiful. And then I used one of the blushes. I have the shade Jitter, which looks like this. Absolutely love these. And then I also used my 2 brow products from XX. I have the X Fine Brow Pencil and the Clear Brow Gel. Ignore my brows at the moment. I'm getting them topped up next week, so my drawing has become very harsh and they just look a mess, so please ignore them. So let's finally stop talking and move on to the Cloud Shadow palette. So this is what the packaging looks like. It is one of the huge 66 pan shadow palettes, which means this does cost £28. But as per usual on the Revolution Beauty site, I do use a 20% discount code, so I will leave that down below if you're interested in purchasing anything on the Revolution website. So this is what the packaging looks like. It's pretty cool, to be honest. It has loads of XX here, and then it like fades into the cloud pattern. It's very reflective. And guys, this is what the eyeshadow palette looks like. So based on like first impressions, it does look a lot like the Extravaganza palette, but I will show you a comparison in a second. But from what I can see, this is much more lighter. There's a lot more pastel shades in here. There's no neutrals in here, and this seems to just overall be a much more light palette than the Extravaganza. But just looking at it, it's absolutely stunning. I love a good rainbow palette. So let me just show you quickly what the Extravaganza palette looks like. I keep saying Extravaganza. So this is the one in the black packaging, and this is what this one looks like. So you've got like 2 rows of neutrals. You've got dark greens, dark blues, black, you've got dark shimmers. It's just very bold and colourful, whereas I feel like the cloud one is a lot more pastel-y and a lot more brightly coloured. So yeah, if you're wondering, that is what the Extravaganza palette looks like compared to this, which is a lot more colourful. There's a lot more blues and greens in here. Yeah, it's just not a dark colourful palette. It is more bright and pastel. So yeah, those are kind of the main differences, but at the end of the day, they are both rainbow palettes. So yeah, this is what it looks like. I'm not gonna lie, I cannot be bothered to swatch this. It is a very large palette. It's £66, and I'd rather just get stuck into the eye look because I know this video is gonna be super long. So I'm sorry to disappoint, but we're gonna be getting straight on into the eye look. I don't know how, but I've managed to lose my Revolution eye base again, so I'm going to be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills eye base because I love this one, because you can use it as an eye base, but you can also use it to cut your crease as well. Multi-use, we like multi-use here on this channel. Okay, so I've actually done quite a few rainbow looks recently, so I feel like you guys are sick of seeing me doing rainbow eye looks, as silly as that sounds. So I'm just gonna probably do like a 2-tone look, like one shade into another, and then maybe a couple on the lower lash line. I'm not gonna do the full spectrum of rainbow or anything. I love xxRevolution, I didn't even mention that. I absolutely love the Extravaganza palette, so I'm not gonna lie, I have very high expectations for this, and I have a feeling it's gonna be good as well. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna take this huge orange pan here, and I'm going to put this at the very front half of my lids. And then I'm gonna take this very light pastel orange here, and I'm just gonna blend out those top edges. Then I'm gonna take this pink here, which is just diagonal to that big orange shade, and I'm gonna add that to the outer corner of my lid. Okay, there's not like a super light pink, so I'm gonna just take a little bit of this pink shade here, and it's got a tiny little bit of shimmer in it as well, so I'm just gonna tap it off quite a lot as well. Just to take another shade of pink, I'm gonna take this very bluey toned dark pink up here, and I'm gonna add that to my outer corner. And then to this inner corner where I've got the orange, I'm going to take this slightly darker orange down here, and I'm just going to build that up. And I also just grabbed a pinch of that yellow just to blend the very like outer corners of it. So these are what the lids are looking like so far, and now I'm going to hop off camera and do a half cut crease on both sides using my ABH eye primer, because I cannot wait to showcase a couple of those shimmers on my lid. Okay, so these are what the cut creases look like, and now we can pick a shimmer. So there are actually quite a few options in here. and I don't know what to go for, so let's do some swatches. Okay, so these are kind of the most wearable shades in the palette, and look how stunning they are. These are what the swatches look like. How beautiful is this icy shade? I feel like that would really match the highlighter quite well. So that bright icy shade is actually this massive pan here, which makes me super happy because it's huge. And it did feel a little bit crumbly, but it seems to pick up fine on the brush. Okay, so this is what the shimmer looks like on my lid. It was super crumbly in the pan, I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't that like creamy foily formula like that first gold was. It was more of that crumbly, still a foil, but the formula is definitely different. It did take a few layers to build the metallic up, but once you do that, it does give you this really beautiful reflective shimmer, and I love it. Okay, so now I need a shade to blend out this outer edge, and I'm going to take this pink shimmer down here, and this is definitely more of a normal shimmer compared to that silver icy shade that was definitely more crumbly. Yes, that was definitely a lot more crumbly, and it had no fallout, whereas the icy shade had tons of it falling underneath my eyes. So if you are going to use that icy shade or some of the more crumbly formulas, then I would definitely do your eye makeup first, then your base makeup. Let's do a different colour spectrum for the lower lash line. So I think at the front of my lower lash line, I'm going to do blue, and at the outer, I'm going to do purple, so it can kind of blend in with the pink. So for the purple on my outer lash line, I'm going to take a combination of this massive pan here and also this dark purple here. And yeah, I'm going to take a mixture of those both and blend that in with the pink on the top lid. And then for the inner corner parts of my lower lash line, I'm going to take this blue shade here. And then lastly, for my inner corners and brow bone, I'm going to take this shade here, I think. This normal shimmer down the bottom of the palette. Okay guys, so this is my completed eye look. I'm actually quite impressed with all of the shadows that I used today, but I'll give my final thoughts right at the end. So I'm going to hop off camera, do my lashes and mascara and lips, and then I'll be right back with my final thoughts. Right guys, so I'm back, and this is my completed look. So for my lashes and mascara, I used those Be Perfect lashes again that I used in my Be Perfect Dream Big video. These are the lashes in the Style Vibes. Obviously these are what they look like. They're super like natural looking, but they're kind of like elongated as well at the end, so I really like them. And for mascara, I used my xxRevolution chocolate dipped mascara. I absolutely love this. I went for a phase of using this like absolutely every single time I was doing an eyeshadow palette review, because it's honestly so good for £5. Like honestly, cannot recommend this enough. And then my lips, I feel a little bit like loose today. I've got a combination on. So I've got the Doll Beauty lip liner in the shade Run the World. I've then got a Morphe lipstick on in the shade Bare All, which is a super light matte brownie shade. And then my gloss is xxRevolution. I thought I'd finish it off with xxRevolution, and this is in the shade Heroin, I think. It's like a rose gold sort of lip gloss. It looks absolutely beautiful over a nude, and I'm just obsessed with this finished look. So now that we've tested all of the makeup from this collection, I can now give you my final thoughts. So all of the face products I absolutely loved, to be honest. The primer serum really surprised me because it dried down, but I love the effect it gives my skin. I still feel like I look really nice and radiant underneath my makeup. So the primer serum, it gets a thumbs up from me. It is quite expensive, but make sure you use a discount code that I'll leave down below just to help you get some money off. Cream blush, absolutely stunning. I'm obsessed with cream blush at the moment, as you know, and it was a really nice sheer moussey cream blush. It was very buildable. It's not the most pigmented cream blush, but I feel like with creams they have to be a bit more sheer because then you can build them up to your desire, and it is definitely buildable. It blends out beautifully, and the shade that I had, which is Soft Focus, beautiful on pale skin. I absolutely love it. And the highlighter really surprised me. Definitely not my normal typical favourite type of product. I'm not really into cream and liquid highlighters, but considering it was like a creamy shimmery product, I'm quite impressed with it. It sits really well underneath your makeup. I did put it obviously on top of foundation, but I put my powder, bronzer, all of that on top of it, and it sat really well. And then once I went in with that powder highlighter, I feel like it just blended it all together so nicely, and I'm just obsessed with these face products. I think they're absolutely beautiful, would highly recommend. Okay, let's finally sit down and talk about the eyeshadow palette. So obviously, first of all, the price, really quite expensive for a drugstore brand, but xxRevolution is the upper end of the spectrum for Revolution, so that is why it's a little bit more pricey. Plus you get £66 in this palette, 66. So even though £28 is quite expensive for Revolution, when you think about it, for 66 eyeshadows, I think that's actually very fairly priced. And again, you can use a discount code to get it for a little bit cheaper. So I'm quite happy with the price point. I expected it to be this much because it is a bigger eyeshadow palette. I'm obsessed with the colour story, I must admit. It just gives a little bit more than the extravaganza palette. Obviously, they had to do something a little bit different, otherwise they would just end up looking identical. But because this palette is a lot more light, a lot more spring and summery, which I feel like is why they've brought it out at this time of year. Yeah, the shades are just a lot more light as well, like especially down this bottom row. There's a lot more pastels in here, a lot more bright colours, light colours. There's no neutrals in here, so this palette is purely for like rainbow pastel eyeshadow palette lovers. There are definitely a few different formulas in here. You've got your matte shade, you've got shades with a little bit of shimmer in them, you've got your full shimmers, and then you've got your like foily creamy shades. I think the mattes worked absolutely brilliantly. I expected them to be honest, because I've had such good experience with xxRevolution in the past. The normal shimmers, very, very nice. I thought they were really nice and pigmented as well. The shade in the middle here, the icy shade, was a little bit crumbly, and I did get a lot of fallout. So that's kind of my only negative thing really to say about this. If you are to do your makeup, eye makeup with this shade, I would definitely do your base makeup after you do your eye makeup. Honestly, apart from that, I didn't have any problems with any other shade that I used, and I'm very happy with this eyeshadow palette. Would I recommend it? Yes, absolutely. I think it's a beautiful light pastel rainbow palette. It is stunning, perfect for the spring and summertime. If you have extravaganza, do you necessarily need this one? I don't know, I think that's based on personal preference. I mean, there are some similar shades in both the palettes, don't get me wrong, like they're not super different, but I just think the tones in this new one are definitely more light and pastel-y rather than the extravaganza palette. Plus this one has absolutely no neutrals in it, so this one is a full complete rainbow palette. So yeah, that's up to you guys. I think it's a beautiful palette, definitely worth picking up if you're looking for a new rainbow eyeshadow palette. So overall guys, I'm very happy with this new cloud collection. Obviously there is one product from the collection I didn't try, which is the Elixir product, but we also had the primer serum, so I don't think it would have been a good idea to test both of them with each other because I feel like that would mess with the formulas. But yeah, overall super happy. I would recommend, to be honest. I think I had a really good experience with every product today, so yes, I'm very happy. I love this collection. Please let me know down below what you think of it, and have you picked up anything yet? I would love to know. So that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please let me know by smashing the thumbs up button, and of course if you haven't already, please subscribe down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.